Good evening, Cougar wrestling fans. We are here tonight at the home of the Lakewood High School Cougars. Joining you for the wrestling match starting right at 7 o'clock. We've got match at 152, which is Ben Nuss and Kyle Ornette for Everett. Nuss for the Cougars, and he immediately goes for the double leg takedown. The wrestlers have already been introduced. We've had the captain's exchange, and we are underway.
Now he's got the 2-point takedown. He actually got control. He's going to look to try to roll him over, try to get some back exposure on this.
So Nuss has got...
He's getting back exposure, getting some back points.
So Nuss is on top, controlling the action, and we will catch you up as to everything that's going on. He looks like he's got control. Referee's looking at the shoulders.
Nuss is squeezing it out. He looks like he's got control. He needs to lift his head up. If he lifts his head up and gets that chest down, he'll get the pin out of this.
So the Everett Seagull wrestler is doing everything he can to keep his head down on the mat. 1 minute gone, and there's the pin. So that was Ben Nuss with a pin in 1 minute, and those are...
Oh, geez, that was seriously sub 1 minute.
And that's the match. So with me tonight is former president of the General Advisory Council for Current Tech Education, Chad Hudson, who is the parent of a wrestler, Austin Hudson, who was a teammate of our referee when he wrestled here, Dylan Jackson. So lots of connections here. Chad, thanks for joining me tonight.
Thanks for having me.
So now we have the 160 weight class, which is Gabe Wetzel versus Xander Rahman. We're going to have about 10 bouts tonight with several forfeits by each team. And that's a takedown for the Cougars.
Wetzel's on top. He's looking to try to gain control. He's trying to get a hold of that wrist.
So what's he trying to do here in terms of gain control of the off arm now?
What he's trying to do is he's trying to get that arm up, and he wants to get it behind him so then he can drive him over onto his back and try to pin him.
So he's got that one arm hooked underneath the left arm, and he's trying to use that as leverage and walk him across. And the Everett wrestler is going to try to keep his front shoulders just pinned to the mat for as long as he can. Each match consists of 3 2-minute rounds, and we have 1 minute gone in this match with the Cougar wrestler ahead 2-0.
If Wetzel starts working this up, he needs to start walking that at an angle, start walking it around like he's done now. Now he's got it, but he walked himself out of bounds.
So he's out of bounds. The clock stops while they reset. What is the referee signaling now with, he's saying red up and green down, or is it a choice?
He's having the person that was the dominant, so that would have been Wetzel. He was going to be the one that's on top because he had control, so he puts the Everett component down, so he's in the down position.
Now when he's up, he has to have his hand above the other wrestler's elbow, is that correct?
That's correct.
And he was trying to get him immediately down again and get control.
That's correct.
So again, Wetzel with that arm bar, again trying to walk him over. Now he's more towards the center of the mat, so as he walks him over, it's going to be harder for the Everett wrestler to get out of bounds.
That's correct.
Wetzel leading 2-0. Minute 30 gone now in the first round, first period. Under 30 seconds now, and certainly he's been the dominant wrestler. Will he get any points for that at the end of this round if he stays on top?
No, we're not in college, and we don't get extra points for having control for a certain amount of time in the match. It's just a matter that he's got control, and the only thing that can happen is to Rahman, if he doesn't start actually showing some action and try to show that he's getting out, he can actually lose a point and from being not active.
So that's the end of the first period, and right at the end of the period, Dylan Jackson signaled that one more point there for the Cougar wrestler, so he takes a 3-0 lead. The coin is flipped, and red was the coin, so Wetzel gets to choose now whether to be up or down?
And he's choosing up. That's just also a personal decision. Sometimes it's a coach's decision to see what they want to have the wrestler work on. If you want him to work on the down position, the up position.
Now, what's the referee going to tell this Everett wrestler right now while he's there?
He's going to tell him to stand on all fours. He's going to tell him that he's going to bring the top wrestler down, and then to wait for him to move when he has the whistle. So they have to stay still until they get the whistle.
Now, Wetzel will not get 2 points for a takedown there because the wrestler was already in a down position, correct?
That's correct.
All right. So when the referee was holding his fist in the air for the green fist.
So he's getting a call there for just a warning for potentially dangerous.
Because he had his arm up in his mouth. Looks like we might have blood.
Oh, we have maybe a blood time is what we're actually getting.
So we've got trainer Brandon Stott jumping on the match, looking at the Everett wrestler. Good time to reset things. So how many matches are in a regular wrestling match?
We have 13 matches in a regular match. We have 13 weight classes for the boys, and currently tonight we're going to be seeing 7 matches because of the number of forfeits that we're going to have tonight.
And each match is 3 rounds of 2 periods each?
Of 3 rounds of 2 minutes, maybe.
Three rounds of 2 minutes each. And when there's a forfeit, how many points is that worth?
The forfeit should be worth 6 points, I believe.
And then just a regular win is worth?
Regular win is worth
3 points?
3 points.
And then a pin is worth 6 points.
Correct.
So while it's an individual event with each wrestler trying to win their bout, it's also a team event as to who can score the most points throughout their lineup.
That's correct.
So we're coming to you now on our YouTube channel and our Facebook live stream. Appreciate Baldeep Singh, our Director of Technology, getting this going tonight and helping us with the setup. I got my man JR on the camera one more time. And he's got the focus going. We've got Laura Leach monitoring the live stream to make sure that what I'm actually saying and hearing is actually on the internet. So we've got a thumbs up that you're able to see us. You're not able to see us. Oh, well, they're trying to get into the live stream, so we're hoping that you're listening to us. We've got 3 green lights on the Boxcast. Sometimes the Wi-Fi reception in our gym is spotty, so
maybe we're just talking to each other.
We might be just talking to ourselves. And if that's okay, too, because we're going to have a good time doing it.
By the way, there's no rush, but when you guys are using the Boxcast, do you use it to stream to something like OBS or something? Like some streaming software? Or does Boxcast have like its own app?
All right, Raman's set down in the bottom. He's got his blood taken care of. So we've got Wetzel getting on top ready, and we've got this started again.
And 1:41 now left in the second period of this second match. Lakewood leading 6-0 in the bout, and Wetzel has a 3-0 lead. So, as we were saying before the stoppage, this isn't like college or maybe Olympic wrestling where they give riding time at the end of the event.
Wetzel continues to control. He's got that arm pulling up. Wants to try to get it across. Wants to get that body on top. Got his arm got Raman's arm just a little too far up.
And so that's 2 points to make it 5-0. And again, we have blood. So again, we will be cleaning the mat. And we will be with Brandon Stott there now, out, taking care of the blood. Now, Wetzel also is getting cleaned up. It looks like we had a trainer there that was maybe wiping blood off his hands.
And his arm.
Make sure he's clean. 55 seconds left to go in the second round here of our second match, and we have the second stoppage here for blood here, and you can see they're taking great care wiping up the blood, and you know, this has been a real point of emphasis in the last 25 years to make sure that everyone's gloved up. There are disinfecting solutions poured on the mat, and that blood is a really sensitive issue now, in a way that it wasn't. And I say that just dates me because I think it's a matter of routine now, but I still remember 25 years ago where people just wiped their nose with the back of their arm and they kept wrestling.
Yep, it definitely is. It's definitely a big thing that people watch out for anymore, and it's a big concern, but wrestling tends to have a lot of blood.
One of the reasons why we are coming to you on a winter sport in the spring, as we talked about last night, is this is by far the most physical contact sport, and with COVID and some of those things, we've been waiting for the governor's standards to loosen so these kids can be in this kind of contact.
Nice takedown by Wetzel.
So takedown, but he doesn't have control yet because the referee hasn't awarded any points.
No, Rahman tried to escape and tried to get up, and Wetzel just came and picked him up and took him right back down to the ground and showed him what kind of control he has, and now he's trying to ride that over and try to get that shoulder down to the ground and get the pin out of this.
So Ram working him. Oh, he got him rolled.
Get that head up.
But again, just like we saw in the first match, we've got control, we've got him down. The wrestler is fighting hard to keep his head down. And we've got a whistle, and this is another dangerous hold, it looks like.
No, I think we got more blood.
7 seconds left to go in the second period. 3 points now. What was the 3 points for? 2 points for a takedown?
He got 2 points, or he got 3 points for near fall.
Hey. Oh, the kid's suddenly a bleeder. How many of you right? Oh, yeah, Varsity.
So, will they ever just stop this bout and just say he can't quit bleeding, and so we're just going to end it and have it be a forfeiture? Or are we just going to keep going here at 8-0 with 7 seconds left to go in the second period?
I think they give him quite a bit of allotment of time, but there is, I don't know the official rule for how much break time they get for blood time and for any other injury time out that they get. Usually there is a set time, and they have to determine if they can keep them, but pretty soon they've just been patching them up here by just kind of shoving stuff in the nose. So the next thing that could potentially happen is that he gets the wrap around the head and he gets really taped up and gets to look kind of like a zombie.
So again, we're going to have a little bit of a break. We have the Lakewood wrestler now. This has got to be hard for a wrestler to start and stop like this. This is very intense, a lot of physical contact. You get ramped up, you go, and now you stop.
And as you saw, Wetzel had control. He was going for the pin, and the ref had to stop it for blood time, and he was really close. If they just would have let that roll on, that he could have potentially got the pin out of it.
And so 3 seconds, 2, 1, and that's the end of the second period with Wetzel leading 9-0. Now, is there ever like a mercy rule, like in basketball or football, if you're ahead by a certain number of points, they're done? Is it a technical fall or something rule?
There's a technical fall if the wrestler goes up by 15 points.
But it doesn't matter how many points he wins by, right? Because the team only gets the 3 or the 6 points.
You also have a major decision too, which I can't remember in high school if that's going to count for different team points. So if you're up by I believe it's 6 or more points, then that's considered a major decision. So right now this would be kind of considered a major decision. So you've got 3 different levels. You've got just a standard win on points, you've got a major decision, and you've got a fall. Oh, and 4, so you've got also the technical fall.
So the Everett wrestler did a nice job of getting him to the ground, but he was locking his hands, and you can't lock your hands. That's what the referee was saying. You can't lock your hands for too long. Is that right?
You can't lock your hands, period. That's just plain cheating.
There's a reversal for Wetzel. He's on top. He got the escape. Now he's working him. He's got 1:30 left to go here in the match, and he is definitely in position to try and get the pin. When they get into this position, he's looking for that magic hold or that magic turn.
He's got to get his body in a little bit different position than what he had it. He was kind of more on top and needed to be one side or the other to try to get it to get him the direction he wanted to be. They were kind of a tough scramble they were going on there.
So that's the 16-point win there. That's the technical
fall.
The technical fall for the Lakewood wrestler. So put Gage Wetzel in the winner's book with 1 minute and 17 seconds left to go in the third period. And that's the second win for Lakewood. And that's 5 points there for the technical fall. So 6-point pin, 5-point technical fall, 3 points for just a regular win. We're rolling tonight.
Here we go.
So at 170, we had a forfeit for Everett, which is 6 points. So that puts the Cougar lead at 17-0. But we started in the middle. We started at 152. We're going to finish at 145. So they're going to go all the way up to 285 and then start back over at 106.
That's correct. And they do that for the reason of it would be kind of unfair that if you're the 106 and that guy and you just have to wrestle first all the time, that's just not kind of equality. So they like to just kind of run it up and down the board of who has to start and who has the first match on the night, because sometimes that's a lot of pressure for these kids to come out and just be the first one of the night to go out there.
So the Cougars really need to get a big lead because they have several forfeits in a row at 106, 113, and 120. That's 18 points right there. So really they're down 18-17 right now. Quick takedown.
Came out with a quick single leg and then drove it down. He's got a nice takedown. He's got some good back points going here.
This is Jackson Hodges for the Cougars.
And we believe it's Dykem for the...
We think it's Dykem for Everett. He is on his back and he is in trouble. And that's a pin. Quick pin. Jackson Hodges in just 24 seconds. Minute 36 left to go in the first period. And we have another quick pin. The Cougars lead now is out to 23-0 as they roll forward. Quick work of the young man there in the 182-pound match. Now we have the 195-pound match.
Which that means that Everett's going to be able to put some points on the board with a...
So Lakewood's going to forfeit at 195, and that's going to be 6 points for the Cougars, bringing the Seagulls back to 23-6. It's really going to be important that the Cougars win all of the remaining contested bouts because they still have 4 forfeits coming up, which is 24 points, which would put them behind right now at 30-23.
The only one that's going to keep them even is we've got a double default at 106. So
that'll be something that we can watch as we're going along now. So here we are now at the 220-pound. We have Barrett Meyer for Lakewood and Jace Hay,
I believe,
for Everett. And again, these Cougar wrestlers are coming out hard from the standstill position, and they're getting these Everett guys on the ground in a hurry. 2 points for a takedown.
Looked like he was wanting to try to get a cradle, but Everett was just spread out just a little too much for him. But he's shown some great control on top there.
Meyer continues to work from top. It looks like he's trying to roll him. It looks like he's maybe going for the cradle.
He is going for the cradle.
Try to roll him onto his back. Can't quite get there.
Trying to get those hands together without locking them, trying to get some control so then he can...
So you can hold your hands together, but you can't lock your fingers.
You can hold your hand or wrist.
Hand or wrist, okay. Again, now back up, keeping his head down on the mat. Now you can shove the other wrestler's head into the mat like that with your hand on the back of the head.
That's the best part about wrestling. It's all about inflicting how much pain until the other person is going to succumb, and it's all as long as you're following in the rules. So a secret about the cradle there, if he would have, way to really get somebody to succumb to that cradle is if he would have put that head in the middle of that side of his, he would have really given that up and bent over and just kind of given up, because it doesn't really feel good with the head in your ribs.
So again, Barrett starts up and is on top controlling. 22 seconds left to go in the first period. He has a 2-0 lead at this point. He's dominated the match, but just has the slimmest of margins in the lead right now. Looks like he's rolling him. He's really working his leverage, trying to get him over.
I got no sound.
And that's the end of the first period.
Talk about being saved by the bell.
I lost sound. Okay.
So that's the end of the first period with the Cougar wrestler Barrett Meyer leading 2-0. All right, so the Cougar wrestler chose up, and
That's getting interesting.
We'll see if he can keep the Everett wrestler down and keep him under control, and see.
then he brings him right down to the mat. Meyer spent a lot of time on the Everett wrestler's back, and it's unfortunate there isn't riding time or any extra points for control, because he certainly would have owned it there. As the Seagull tried to escape, he grabbed his leg, pulled him out from under him, and took him down to the mat.
He really is looking for this. He's really looking for this cradle. He's been just watching and looking for this cradle. This must be what Meyer really wants. He wants to try to pull a cradle off here.
Now, the Everett wrestler does have a hand and a foot out of the red circle. What constitutes being out of the circle? There's 1 point for an escape. It's
Both
now
wrestlers
2-1.
have to be
1 minute
completely
left to go.
out of the red circle. So all body parts have to be completely out.
So 2-1 lead. The Seagull wrestler cuts him in half.
It's another two takedown for
And they
Lakewood.
came up straight, and now Lakewood Myers gets another takedown for 2 points to go ahead 4-1. 42 seconds left to go in the second period. Dylan Jackson stops it. He says that he's got his hand on the back of his neck. So apparently you can have your hand on the back of the head, but not on the back of the neck.
Now you've got to just watch how far that arm's coming up and where that hand is getting to, because that can be potentially dangerous of too much pressure and control, and that's where you have to follow the rules where.
So is this a timeout? The Everett coach just came out and talked to the referee. Do they get to call timeout and talk to the wrestlers, or was there a warning? What's going on here?
It's got to be rough time for something. Maybe it looks like we had a malfunction of the headgear, so it looks like that's probably why they're letting them have the time to try to refix that headgear and try to get that set up. It looks like I can see right now that top piece is done, so that headgear is pretty well broken right now. We'll see if he can make it through, or if he has to borrow somebody else's headgear to use.
And we see one of our first wrestlers actually wearing a mask. These two wrestlers are wearing masks.
Actually, all the wrestlers I think I've seen most of our wrestlers wearing masks tonight.
But I haven't seen them come off before. Like this guy, his mask just came off.
Correct.
So they're obviously not stopping it for a mask adjustment, as Meyer's trying to roll him over here. We are 13 seconds left in the period, with Meyer leaving 4-1 here in the 220 weight class.
He's trying to get control of one of those arms so he can kind of move it around.
There's the buzzer ending the second period. And it is 6-1 now, so 2 points for, what did he get the last 2 points for?
I missed what the last 2 points were.
Okay, so did I.
Must have had, and the only thing I can think of is that he had him rolled over enough that he was getting some back points out of that deal.
Okay, so get some back points. 6-1 now, Meyer leading here with 2 minutes left to go in the third period. Start of the third period. The Everett wrestler chose to be up because he needs 2 points for a takedown. Yeah, and so he's got to get some points.
He wants to. He thinks that he has a chance to be able to actually get that takedown instead of trying to work himself out of a 1 point. That if he can get that 2 point takedown, it works a little bit faster. But sometimes it doesn't pay off for you.
Because if he's down and he puts Meyer down on his stomach, Meyer has more of a chance to get 2 points for or 1 point for an escape than he does than the Everett wrestler has to get 2 points for a takedown because he's already down, right?
Correct.
Okay. And Meyer has him down 2 points. That makes it 8-1. 1:20 left to go in the third period. And he is in control one more time, looking for that pin. Cougars now here in the 220 weight class. They are leading 23-6. The only points Everett have scored is at a forfeit at the 195. And so under a minute now to go here in the bout.
He had the right idea there, but Mr. Meyer did. He had that arm up and he was starting to walk it up and around, but he just kind of decided to quit on the deal for some reason.
So he's looking like he's trying to get the cradle one more time. Oh, that time he just came under his shoulders and lifted and turned him. Gonna try to drive him onto his back. He's got the leg
hooked. Doing a good job of trying to fight his shoulders up. He's working really hard trying to keep those shoulders off the mat.
Look at the legs hooked up, trying to prevent that leverage.
Meyer's getting back points now.
21 seconds to go here. And there's the pin. 18 seconds left to go in the third period. And we have a pin by Barrett Meyer. 6 more points for the Cougs, taking their lead up to 29-6. Great match that time by Barrett Meyer. He just hung in there and just wrestled hard.
Just stuck with it, and Everett was trying to fight it off, but he just kept sticking and maintained control.
So now we have the 285. Boy, there's a big difference between 280, 220, and 285. That's a big jump in weight there, class. You could be 280 pounds and be wrestling someone at 220. That's a big weight difference. Joey Hudson is wrestling Keegan Bach for the Cougars.
A lot of hand fighting going on here. We'll see how much this goes. We'll see what the ref allows to keep going on. But got it tied up.
Looking to gain position, kind of an arms on top thing. Ooh, down to the mat, taking advantage, going after him.
Oh, backfired on Keegan. Keegan tried to bull rush him and then tried to pull him back, but then fell backwards on himself, and he ended up getting the takedown on himself.
2 points for the Seagull wrestler.
2 points for Hudson.
Looks like that was a mask stoppage.
I guess that's what we have in these COVID days. We have mask stoppages.
He's wearing a gaiter, not a regular mask. And so Dylan Jackson stepped in. I think he said, "Do you want me to stop it next time your mask goes down?" I'm not sure what the wrestler said because we didn't stop in the last match when the mask came off. So Keegan Bach got a point there for an escape.
Now we're out of
And so it's 2-1. 1:02 left to go in the first period of what is expected to be a 3-round match. Cougars leading 29-6 here tonight in their first home wrestling match in well over a year. We're at the 285-pound bracket. Keegan Bach wrestling for the Cougars. You're coming to you on our YouTube channel, on Facebook Live. If you like us and want to know when we're coming back, you can subscribe to us or like us or friend us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube and you will get a notification when there is an event coming up. Oh, they stopped.
Keeps trying to walk out. I think he might be. Keegan just kind of walking more towards the center, trying to get him back in and say, let's get this going. Let's actually do some wrestling tonight.
And they stopped, and they didn't need to. Referee Jackson said, come on, let's keep going here. He's giving them leeway. No points yet.
No points yet.
2 points there for the Everett wrestler. He takes a 4-1 lead. 4 seconds left to go in the match, and that is the end of the first round. So, a lot of action, or a lot of energy, a lot of hand action, not a lot of wrestling going on there in the first period. And Joey Hutchison for Everett leads Keegan Bach 4-1 here, and
4-2.
4-2.
Don't know where the second point came from, but we have it.
We have a second point. They both chose to be up here at the start of the match, at the start of the second round. I didn't see who won the coin flip and chose to be up.
It was Bach who won the coin flip, and I think O'Hara just decided to tell him you should probably be up. There's another 2 points for Hudson.
So the takedown makes it 6-2. 1:41 left to go. Keegan is in trouble right now. The Everett wrestler is in control on his back, forcing his head down and trying to get that
arm up and then try to flip him over. But that Everett wrestler, Hudson, is way high on that back right now, sitting there.
And Keegan Bach now rolls him off. And if he could just turn his body, he could be all over this in control.
They're both looking pretty tired on the mat there.
It's a stalemate right now to see who can turn. No, Bach goes back on his stomach. He's not able to get an escape or a reversal, although he is on his hands and knees now.
He's holding on.
And he's ready to get up. He looks like he's about to get to his feet. Nope, he's back down again. 45 seconds left to go here in the period. The Seagull wrestler has regained control on top.
Still looking like the Seagull wrestler's trying to process, figure out what he wants to do, see where he wants to go, see if he can do something in this 28 seconds.
But he's still too high on him. He has no leverage that high on his body.
No, he's sitting way high on that back, which then, like you saw, Bach was able to just sit up and fall back and,
Not able to get enough leverage to escape, but certainly not enough of a... Oh, here he goes. He's about to roll him one more time. He's trying. He's on his back. Oh, he's out. So the end of the period, 1 point for the escape for Bach, brings it 6-3. It's the Seagull wrestler's choice is to be up or down, and they have chosen to be up again. And Keegan Bach trailing 3 points now with the third round. He was on the ground an awful long time. He's got to be tired.
Come on, Keegan!
That time he used the Seagull momentum against him, backed up and was able to get him on the ground. 2 points for a takedown. Now he's on top. He's down 6-5 now, 140 here in the third. He needs to, it's almost maybe worth it to let him up, give him the 1 point for the escape, and take him down again to tie the match.
Well, if he can actually get some control and roll him over, then he could have some back points too, and he'd also be up and could actually be ahead of the situation.
Without giving up any points.
Correct. Right now, the way that these two guys are wrestling, it's probably best that he tries to maintain control and get the back points, and who knows what'll happen here.
The Everett wrestler shows,
Bach comes through with a little too hard of a crossface there. Kind of wound that one up.
And that's 1 point there for the Everett wrestler for, what do we call that, a illegal punch?
That's a it's a legal move. It's a crossface, but he came way too aggressive with it. He wound up with it and just came way too hard.
So because Bach was in control, he gets to stay on top. And it looks like, he is going to try to put him down again. I thought he was going to let him escape, but it's 7-5 now. He's trailing. Under a minute to go here in the match.
Come on, Keegan!
It looks like the Everett wrestler is just content to stay on his stomach and just try to ride this match out, trying to get out of bounds. Now he's out of bounds, and they'll reset. 43 seconds left to go.
Hudson will go back to the bottom and Keegan back on top, and we'll start this thing over again. And you could be very right. The Hudson could be tired, starting to get a little bit tired here, and just wants to see if he can ride this one out on the bottom and see if he can actually come out of this one with a win.
Points, Keegan!
Tom O'Hara, their coach, giving him some instructions before he is able to. And see how he just dropped straight to the ground. He didn't even try to get up.
Yeah, he's definitely just trying to ride this out. He's got those arms sucked in. He's not looking, Hudson's not trying to make any move or attempt to try to get up and try to get to his feet.
And this is a physically challenging sport. I used to say when I was coaching basketball, watching the wrestlers work out, you got to love to wrestle, because you're going to spend 6 minutes in a match and you're going to condition 10, 20, 30 times that amount in order to get those 6 minutes in. So you better love it.
Yeah.
And off the mat again.
The starting and restopping is tough on these guys too, because now they've had this momentum, they've got this energy, but Hudson's just hoping, I think, for these 4 seconds to go by quick and try to come out of here.
And this will be a big 3 points for the Seagulls if they can get it. Even though the Cougs are ahead 29-6 in the match, there's only 4 seconds left to go in this match. And so Hudson's probably just going to drop right to his shoulders, ride it out, and get the win. And that is the match. And they do finally award 1 point for an escape. So it's an 8-5 loss for the Cougar wrestler Keegan Bach to the Seagull, who really only scored points twice in the match and was able to get the win. So that is a 3-point victory for the Everett Seagulls, bringing the score to 29-9. And we're about to roll over to the 106. Double forfeit at 106. John Nelson gets the forfeit win at 113.
These little lightweights like these are tough weights to try to fill these slots for a lot of these high schools. I mean, there's not many kids that are 106 and 113 anymore.
Well, and when we had girls, when it was co-ed wrestling, we had girls wrestling. That's a lot of times the girls were filling in these lower weights, and now we've got their own state tournament, their own championship, and their own matches. And I think we are going to bring I think they have one home wrestling match, and I think we are going to be bringing that to you here on the Facebook and the YouTube.
And I tell you what, those girls are tough. They can actually put together a match, and some of them will just put it together. So here's another forfeit by Lakewood, so that's another 6 points for Everett.
It's Bryce Campbell bringing the score to 29-21. And so now we have at 126, Jack O'Hare versus Jonah Holland. This is now where it's going to get interesting. We have 4 matches left. 3 of them are going to be contested, as there's still going to be a forfeit by Lakewood at 138.
They're eyeing each other up right now.
So here's Jack O'Hara wrestling. And he got a little bit aggressive.
There's a quick takedown by Everett.
And
went through the back door and saw it, and he knew where to go and just hopped on that back and took the 2 points.
2 points for the Everett wrestler, taking a quick 2-0 lead here. 20 seconds, 1 point for the escape for O'Hara, who goes again. He's being very aggressive. He's getting out over his shoes, maybe a little off balance. So
you can see that the Everett wrestler is just kind of sitting there stalking and waiting for what he wants, and see if he can actually see an opening in the Lakewood wrestler.
And in some of these matches, you're going to have, especially like at 126, you're going to have some long, lean guys like Jack O'Hara, and you got some short, stocky guys. And so O'Hara's got to use his leverage Whereas the Everett wrestler, Holland back, he's going to try to use his power. So O'Hara's going to try to attack from the outside, and Hollenbeck's going to try to get inside and use his power to get him down. So two very different styles of wrestling. No points yet. The referee says there's no control yet on the takedown. Still no points. O'Hara trailing 2-1 here.
Oh, there's a nice move by O'Hara.
39 seconds left to go, but because there is no takedown, there's no escape. And again, no takedown, no control. 26 seconds left to go in the period.
A lot of scrambling going on here.
And again, it's that powerful upper body of Hollenbeck trying to control the much more angular O'Hara. O'Hara's trying to work the legs while Hollenbeck's trying to work the shoulders and the head. And there's 2 points on the takedown right at the buzzer. So it's 4-1 now. Everett leading here and going into the second period.
O'Hara's over talking to the referee, trying to get his wrestler, trying to work for him to have the 2 points. He thought O'Hara thought Jack had control enough that he should have probably had a takedown, and O'Hara's over there quite literally showing the ref how it was happening. So
this is a tough place for Dylan Jackson, Lakewood High School Cougar graduate, wrestled for Coach O'Hara to be in, but he handled it very well. And Coach O'Hara's a good guy. He's not going to use his former wrestler trying to intimidate him or anything like that. O'Hara's a good man about that, but he is going to advocate for his players regardless of who the ref is.
He does a good job that way, and he sure is fun to watch when he's going at it because he gets pretty animated.
Yeah. Jackson handles it well. We have O'Hara down on the ground, and there's probably a little bit of extra juice with Coach Tom coaching his son here in this match.
That definitely doesn't hurt the situation at all.
A little more intensity there. Or maybe relationship knowledge about what could or should be done.
I definitely can see it over there. I can see Coach O'Hara over there trying to
what a reversal
trying to wrestle for him
by Jack O'Hara. Spun over the top. Now he's on top. Has not gotten any points yet. He should at least get 1 point for the escape. That's what he gets. He gets 1 point for the escape. Just about had a takedown. Could have been a reversal and a takedown, but didn't quite get the takedown as they stepped out of bounds. 1:08 left to go in the second period. Two points for the takedown. Now we got a reversal. And it's 6-4, 50 seconds left to go, and Jack O'Hara's now in control.
Both wrestlers are doing a good job of staying aggressive, attacking, and still scrambling when they're on the bottom, and that's why we're seeing a lot of this changing of scoring and reversals, and makes it a fun match to watch.
Tries to get out. Jack's now it's got a reversal. 2 points for the Everett wrestler. He's now ahead 8-4. 25 seconds left to go here in the period. Seconds now left to go in the second period. O'Hara's behind 9-4. Be nice if we get an escape right here at the end of the period, but it's not going to happen because that's the end of the second period, and Jack O'Hara's trailing 9-4. Tom O'Hara again asking Dylan Jackson what he counted as the score. There was an initial takedown right at the start of the resumption of the festivities, and he looked like O'Hara was going to have some, O'Hara was going to get some points, and he did get some points, and in fact, the Everett wrestler got points.
And our ref here is doing a really good job remaining, just staying calm and just listening to what the coach has to say and sticking with what his decision is. Doing a really good job here. We got a good ref tonight.
So Jack O'Hara is going to be on top now, going into the third period here in his match. I think the most important thing is, even if O'Hara loses, that he does not get pinned, that they are only getting 3 points and not 6. Obviously, if he can come back and get the pin, that would really help the Cougars scoring as they go forward.
Everett wrestler just tried to get up and took him out of bounds, and we had to restart again. Jack O'Hara came on top and tried to start a little bit too early. Got a warning for that.
Takes him down to the mat. He's now controlling it again. This is now about angles and using his length as opposed to his strength. And the Everett wrestler escapes. Now they lead 10-4. Minute 35 left to go here in the third round. There's a takedown now by the Everett wrestler. Shot. 2 points. Takes his lead 12-4.
Close to getting it tilted over for some back points.
Jack doing everything he can to keep his shoulders off the mat. 1 minute and 10 seconds left to go. It's a long time to be in that dangerous position, but he looks like he's escaped just a little bit.
Needs to put some fight in this, try to get up and get out of there, but it is difficult when you're down there.
O'Hara's just doing everything he can to keep his shoulder off the mat.
There's the pin by Everett.
So 44 seconds left to go in the third period, and the Everett Seagulls get the pin, and it is now 29-27 in the match. And next up, we're going to have Taylor Brock versus Elias Tracy at 132. And
this one could actually decide the team score for the night, because our next two matches are going to be forfeits. We've got a forfeit on 138 for Lakewood, and then we've got a forfeit at 145 for Everett.
So this is it. This is the match. If Lakewood is able to hold on and get the 3 points, they're going to win this match. If they lose this match, and the Everett Seagulls are going to win, it's either going to be... And there's a quick takedown. 2 points for the Cougar wrestler, Brock.
Trying to get him rolled over on that back.
Trying to make short work of him. He's got him on his back. This could do it. Oh, no.
Yep,
he tries to get up. 2 more points for
back points.
For Brock.
2 near fall.
He's controlling him. He's got him on his back. The Everett wrestler's trying to get to his feet, is unable to do it. And this time we have 2 similar body types wrestling. They're both really long and angular. We don't have that stocky mismatch like we had. He's on his back again. It's just a matter of time. And there it is, the pin for Taylor Brock. 6 points for the Cougars, and that takes their lead to 35-27. And that is the last bout we have tonight. So Dylan Stid is going to get the forfeit here at 138.
And then Punchy O'Hara, the other O'Hara, will be getting a forfeit for Lakewood at 145 coming up next.
So here's out for the Dylan Stidwell. Missed the well in the introductions, and that brings it to 35-33. And now 145. Punchy O'Hara. He gets the the forfeit, and that brings the final score of this match to 41-33. So, what did we see tonight, Chad?
Well, we saw a lot of kids getting come out here and actually have some fun and do some wrestling. We saw some good action going on, and I think we're at the beginning of the season. We'll see how far we get to actually take this thing, but a lot of good experience for these kids to be able to just come out and, get what they say, get some actual mat time, and not just with their teammates, but against actually somebody else. So it's really nice and fun to see just some good fun wrestling for these kids.
I think we saw some pretty good technical wrestling too, because we've only had 5, maybe 6 practices.
Yeah, if you've had only 5 practices so far, these kids are doing really well. So they must be either getting together on their off time or doing something that they're able to keep some of this technical stuff up, because if you're not actually practicing this, a lot of the time it's hard to remember what these moves are.
So the match is over, and what we have now going on is we have some exhibitions. So we have some maybe the second best person at level is wrestling, or maybe they're wrestling off weight class.
Yeah, so it looks like we've got, from what I heard, we have Punchy wrestling somebody from Everett. I don't know what different weight classes or what we've got going on here, but we have, this is just kind of not for team score or anything, but just to be able to get these kids some actual mat time and some matches.
And just like with, any other sport, the drills you do in practice and working against your own teammates, nothing compared to actually being out there on the mat, different level of adrenaline, different kids trying different moves, coached in different ways. It only can help you for the future, and especially for someone like Punchy O'Hare, who didn't get a chance to wrestle tonight.
That's correct. That makes it really nice for him.
So he can go 1-1 tonight or 2-1 tonight.
That's correct. Looks like he's got good control though, so he has a chance if he can get the squeeze down. He got the pin out of that, so he goes 2-0 tonight.
And that was wrestling at 152. So
he wrestled up.
Weighed in for the 145 weight class, and he wrestled up at 152, and actually probably wrestled the Everett second wrestler at 152, because the initial wrestler, that's where we started tonight, Ben Nuss, handled Kyle Cressetti pretty easily in the first match of the night.
So we've got another exhibition match coming up here.
And this says 160 now. So we're going to hang with this for another few minutes. We have the boxcast scheduled to go till 8:30. So when we turn off the camera, there's just going to be a lot of blank screens tonight. But we're going to be done with our broadcast at 8 o'clock. And we'll keep the camera going, but we'll be putting the sound away and starting to tear it down after the next couple of matches. So again, Lakewood High School Wrestling. I don't believe we have another wrestling meet for another couple of weeks. We will be live streaming tomorrow night's boys basketball game between the Lakewood Cougars and the Henry M. Jackson Timberwolves. Last night, the Cougars dispatched the Everett Seagulls 80-40 here in the Lakewood High School Gymnasium in a fairly easy contest. Jackson should present much more of a challenge tomorrow night. Lakewood has done really well in most sports this year against the larger Wesco opponents. They've competed well. It hasn't always shown in the one-loss record, but for the most part, in most sports, they have not been overmatched.
That's good to hear. And there's a lot of sports that are out there that it really doesn't matter the size of the school that you're at, because it's a matter of how you're competing for yourself.
So there was no JV wrestling match tonight, so this exhibition is kind of the JV equivalent. Here we are at 160. And
they'll do this a lot of times at the end of, if we have if they have a short they didn't fill all the weight classes, and they have people here. These coaches just try to get these kids matches the best they can. They want to get them, get them wrestling, have some fun. That's why you turn out for the sport and do the practice, so you can actually go out and compete.
And as I said earlier, these kids work hard. I imagine this is also, while you certainly want to win the match, if you are wrestling in one of these exhibitions and you need to work on being in a down position or you need to work on being in an up position, you might choose that. There's the cradle that we were talking about earlier.
Yep,
He's got him on his back.
Everett's got Lakewood in the cradle. Trying to lock that other leg down so he can't really move. But Everett's kind of hindering himself, can't really roll him back by holding that other leg down, so he's... You hear both sides, you hear Everett's sideline saying, roll him.
And you hear the Lakewood side saying, roll him too. And he is pushing back. He's going to try and reverse it. And that's the end of the period.
Both kids working.
We got an excellent look at the cradle hold.
Both kids working really hard there.
So Red wins the toss, will choose up for the second period.
Come on, Tracy. I don't know. Who are we supposed to cheer for? Oh, wait. That's the main part.
So immediately fighting for control. There we saw again that arm rip that Bach got called for, but it's not quite as forceful across the front of his face. It's more trying to slide it underneath his chin.
Well, you can actually put some pressure on it. You can give him a little bit of a bump to the head, but you can't just wind up and go for it.
Now he's grabbing his head.
See, there's a legal one. He came through and got it. You also got to watch where the thing lands.
And now you can hear the Lakewood coaches yelling cradle, and you can see he's working for the cradle. Oh, he didn't get it. Now the Seagull just stays on his back. And now we have a mask warning. The Everett wrestlers ahead 5-0. And I can't believe the Lakewood did not get at least 1 point for a reversal on that, but maybe he never was given credit for being in control. I thought he should at least get a point for an escape, but...
Appeared he didn't have control or didn't completely get free from it.
I mean, I know he started on top, but it just seemed like...
Well, if he starts on top, then he can't get a point for escaping himself. That would have been for Everett, and he...
Oh, then he rolls him over. Everett's in trouble. It's got to be close. It must be the shoulder. There must be something preventing the shoulder.
There it is.
This will be the last bout that we'll be bringing you commentary for. We'll let the camera keep rolling for a while until it's time to disassemble. This is a
mystery weight class as it is right now.
Yeah, no weight class. So this is Jimmy
Statham.
So we'll check to see I think it's Kenny Conklin now wrestling.
Okay.
He's listed as a 220 in our program.
taken down with the underhook. Everett's getting back points on Lakewood right now.
3 points there.
There's the pin
There's
by
the
Everett.
quick pin. And so that's the last match we're going to bring you the audio commentary for. We're going to let the camera run for a few more minutes while we take things down a little bit. Chad, thanks for joining me tonight on the broadcast. I hope people enjoyed the wrestling match. It's not something a lot of people get to see, but here we are, Lakewood High School Gymnasium, and we'll be back for more wrestling matches in the future. But again, reminding you that tomorrow night we'll be here from Jackson for versus Jackson High School. Like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, get our notifications because we love having you watch our events. So Dale Leach for Chad Hudson, we're saying thanks for joining us tonight, and we will talk to you tomorrow.